statement by the PDP candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and that of the PDP national chairman, Mr. Secondus, in which they tried to distort the message, which was very eloquently delivered yesterday by Mr. President, who clearly reassured Nigerians that he has given the appropriate directives to security agencies to ensure that the Saturday election is free and fair. And from the response of the PDP candidate, it is clear that they have already considered defeat. First, he claimed that he has two strong holds, which he identified, according to him, as South-South and South-East. First, that is not even true. I call from South-South, and we are not voting Atiku. We have since dismantled the PDP machine in Edo State, and Edo is the heartbeat of the nation. But even if you concede, for whatever it is worth, you take the statement on its face value. If out of 6 geopolitical zones, Atiku agrees that he has solely support, not in his own zone, but in the South-South and the South-East, the voting population in these two geopolitical zones are not enough to deliver the presidency to any candidate in Nigeria. That is why I said, by his own statement, if those are the only areas he believes he has, that he described as his own stronghold, he has already considered defeat. But much more importantly, it also shows that whereas Nigerians, every peace-loving Nigerian, as well as those who genuinely wish Nigeria well, whether they are foreign observers or our business partners or our development partners, I think we'll be speaking one common language. We want free, fair, and violence-free election. Now, what the president said yesterday, and we are proud that he had courage to say it, and even greater courage to do it, that he has instructed those who are responsible for the security and to defend the territorial integrity of Nigeria, which is the Nigerian Armed Forces and the police, that he has asked them to ensure that the environment is created to enable Nigerians to go out and vote without fear that thugs will attack them, without fear that some militants will attack them, and that the security agencies are going to keep thugs in check. No peace-loving Nigerian can find fault with that. And I think it does expose PDP for what they are. And Atiku Abubakar, as vice president to Olusegun Obasanjo, I ask you to review your newspaper editorials, your front page pictures in 2003 election that was conducted by President Olusegun Obasanjo with Atiku as his number 2 man. I ask you to review all the coverage, both electronic and print, of the election of 2007 and the number of Nigerians that were killed, not by police, not by soldiers, they were killed by thugs. In Edo State, in my election in 2000, on April 14, 2007, 3 young men were shot down by PDP thugs at Oba Primary School. So there is no responsible candidate, I use this word, no vote to a House of Assembly, who will find fault with any pronouncement that seeks to discourage thuggery in the coming election. So for a man who is aspiring to preside over Nigeria, to seek protection for thuggery, to seek cover for thuggery, he has already said he will grant amnesty to looters. I don't think Nigerians need to have any basis to have any doubt that Atiku Abubakar's mission is to set Nigeria on fire just so that he can become president, even if he will preside over a graveyard. By the special grace of God, these elections will come and pass. Nigerians will vote. No one will be armed. No one will be intimidated. And we believe the president was right to affirm that anybody who chooses to resort to thuggery he will be dealt with squarely. I believe the ordinary Nigerian believe in this. Only those who rely on Togri can find fault with the president's directive. And of course, there could be all attempt to twist the statement. The truth is, if you read, as I read fully today, the full statement of Mr. President, as was very well covered in the Guardian newspaper, he went ahead to say, Nigerians should be respected, that the ordinary Nigeria should be respected by the armed forces. Nigerians should be respected by the police. INEC should treat Nigerians with respect. However, if there's anybody who seeks to undermine the right of Nigerians to vote freely, either by resorting to Togri or snatching ballot papers, those people will be dealt with. Is there any one of you here who will want to vote for election for Togri? Is there any Tog that is not armed? You cannot snatch ballot paper without the aid of firearms. So when the international community is talking about free, violent-free elections, they are talking of elections that are free of Togri. And you can see PDP is not at home with that because they imported Togri, they institutionalized it, and they have always fell back on it as instrument for rigging and for dominating the electorate. So we have come to debunk any attempt by Atiku Abubakar to change the essence of Mr. President's statement. I believe the President spoke the mind of the average Nigerian who wants to be able to go and vote and call home in peace without fear of being attacked by some gun-running or gun-trotting political thugs. You all know as dedicated reporters that Togri is synonymous with violence. Togri is synonymous with violence. The word is unanimous that violence should be removed from election. So I think that Atiku's rejection of that instruction shows exposing PDP for what they are, that their plan is to deploy Togri as to make the election impossible or to reduce voter turnout. Number two, the card readers have been deployed to South-South and Southeast, where the machines are because they are imported from China, so they will not be as efficient as other card readers deployed to other geopolitical zones. Now, the implication of this is that assuming without conceding that this allegation is true, it means that Atiku is working hand in hand with the ICT unit in INEC to know the kind of machines that are deployed to where. We, recognizing that INEC is independent, I am not able to determine the kind of cards that a card reader that INEC is deploying. I'm not in a position to identify where they were imported from. But if Atiku has all of these details, it can only show that Atiku is working hand in glove with people within INEC as to know where machines are imported from, and even the fact that card readers can be properly programmed or they can be programmed otherwise. But let me restate, we are not like stammerers who look for a fight because they cannot win an argument. We believe, going around the 36 states, that the electorate is set to vote for us. And we want those votes to take place in a free and fair atmosphere. You heard me yesterday saying that, in my opinion, INEC making provision for 180,000 votes, card readers, where we have 176,000 polling units, that to have just 4,000 extra, in my opinion, is not enough. If you distribute them around the, I believe, 119, 119 wards across the country. So let me repeat, I think Nigerians should be united when it comes to the issue of a free and fair election. And our candidate also has responsibility for peace and security of Nigerians. He has a duty to ensure that the lives of the Nigerian electorate is protected and that the life of whether local or foreign observers are protected. That is the responsibility of the Commander-in-Chief, not as a candidate, but as Commander-in-Chief. So if Atiku find fault with this, if anybody is pro-Togri, we are against Togri. If anybody is pro-violence, we are against violence. And I want to invite the attention of the international community to properly decode Atiku's statement asking the president to withdraw his threat, not against the electorate, but the threat against would-be thuggery or thugs or merchants of violence. So just to debunk this and to say that, as far as I'm concerned, Atiku knows he can win. It's just that our commentators and our analysts, either for reasons of convenience or lack of memory, don't play these things up. Atiku is on record as having procured a senatorial seat for Professor Jibril Aminu. This way in the press. So if he wants to go to court, I'm ready to meet him there. I will produce those press coverage. I will produce the INEC first documented report that declared the winner of those 3 senatorial seats, of which Jibril Aminu benefited and Senator Ziguina benefited. After they had conceded defeat, I wrote congratulatory messages which were carried on the pages of Nigerian newspapers and in some of our electronic media. He bought those. He also went on to rig the election, the governorship election that was won by Ashidu in Gombe State, because that is considered to be his northeast geopolitical zone. So, and don't forget that with Atiku as a leading player in PDP, PDP had lost election in Adamawa State. So the fear of defeat is already down on him, and he had been able, we can't say for sure, it will appear to us that he had the benefit, or he probably instigated the postponement, but as they say, it is only a debtor who thinks tomorrow is far. And you say, don't worry, tomorrow I will pay you. Next Saturday is almost here. If you don't leave this place on time, it will meet you here. So we are ready for the election, and by the special grace of God, Nigerians, in good conscience, we vote for President Muhammadu Buhari, and Atiku will remain what he is, a permanent presidential hopeful that Nigeria will never have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency.